Hey, we're live. Welcome to the show. Isn't it a funny background I have? That is a picture, an actual picture of outside the house in Phoenix, where we lived. And then I treated it with a filter. But the trees and everything are exactly what it looked like in facing one direction outside the house. Today, I titled this thing Light, Fire, and Flow. You know, we're just a few days from Christmas. Today is Friday. December, what is it, 21, right? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, Friday, 20th. And we got a calendar in our kitchen. Actually, it's not a calendar. It's just a square chalkboard, and it says, days till Christmas, and then there's an empty space. And we put that up right after Christmas last year. And of course, 365, and, sometime I'm buying 300, and, that kind of thing. And it gradually got below 200 and so forth. It was kind of boring, as the months went by and nobody thought about it. And often it would go for 2 or 3 weeks without anybody updating it. And then, it got to be under 200, and then it got to be under 100. And now here we are just 5 days away, and then it'll come and go, and we'll be back to 365. Why am I saying that? Well, maybe you celebrate Christmas and maybe you don't. I do. But whether you celebrate that or not, there are other days, other things that matter a lot to you, other holidays, other memorials and celebrations that are really important. So Joy and I are going to go shopping one of these days to some favorite outlet stores, and we've got a tree up and we're decorating the house. But you know what's more important than decorating the house, at least to me, is decorating our lives. Like I'm decorating my life with light. And here's the thing. I used to live like all the time, just with whatever was there. I'd get up and whatever I had to do today and get through the day and, just sort of reacting to everything around me. And I didn't find that to be very fulfilling, but I didn't know what the heck to do about it. Now I've changed everything all around. Here's the secret. What if you could create each day? And what I mean by that is, what if you could sit and think, either before you went to bed or right after you got up, what you want today to be about, what you want today to be like, what you want today to be full of, and what you want to not have in your day. What if you could do that and then everything would just line up to make that happen? Well, I'm going to boldly suggest that that's possible. I'm going to boldly suggest that you do create your day. And maybe, like me, you don't know how to do that very well yet, or maybe you're an expert. And if you're an expert at it, I'd love to talk to you, because you know what? People that have developed the skill of creating with their mouths, with their intention, with their energy, I love to have those on my shows, podcasts, or LA Talk Radio, just because I love to share your story, your growth, and your viewpoint, and the messages you have. I use in my initials, you notice, I put my name, Kellan, at the end of the text, and then I put MCA, and that stands for Messenger Creator Alchemist. Messenger Creator Alchemist, because my commitment's to talk to 300 million of you, 300 million of you. You know why? Because I love you. I love you, and I want you to decorate your life with exciting creations, with purpose, with prosperity, and with joy. And so I was thinking about 3 words today: light, fire, and flow. Light, fire, and flow. Now, we all know what light is, right? Obviously, light is, energy of a certain wavelength. But in scriptural references and lots of sacred texts, we're advised or commanded or directed or invited to be a light. What does it mean to be a light? It means that someone can look at you. I'll bet I can look at you and be inspired by your presence, lifted and blessed by your thoughts and your expressions. I'm so lucky. Yesterday, I guess, my day was really busy, and I had 2 podcast episodes to record. Somebody was in Ireland and somebody was somewhere else, and a couple of coaching calls and stuff. But you know what? I felt it was draining because it takes a lot of energy, but I felt uplifted because I got to absorb the light of each person that I talked to. And here's this business about creating your day. When I intentionally say I am a light, and the way I say it in my document is, I am light and invite you home to yourself. I am light and invite you home to yourself. And the way I think about it is, there's so much of the universe around us that is focused on negativity, the news, and the way people talk, and doom and gloom, and everybody's cliffing it, taking everything right to the edge of infinity and predicting disaster. And you know what? I predict light. There is light, there is love, there is possibility, and there's opportunity. And you might think I'm nuts. Maybe I am. But you know what? I live in absolute joy every day because why? Because I create light. I'm a beacon of light, and so are you. So I invite you to connect because I'd love to share and see your light. I'd like to hear your stories. One of my favorite things to do is to hear the stories of resilience, of overcoming, of choice, of growth. And often, you know what I hear? I had a chance, I don't know if it was yesterday, I think. One of the people that I talked to, after we talked, I said, "Oh man, have you written that in a book yet?" And apparently they'd thought about it, but they hadn't done it yet. I want to read it. I want to see that story. It'd be so valuable to share your story of growth. And you know what I know about you right here, right now? Your story is valuable. It's the most important thing you have. Your story of growth, of choice, of courage, of overcoming, of not giving up. And my question to everybody, to that fellow yesterday and to you, are you sharing your story of growth, of choice, of positive, of overcoming, of resilience? Because I know you have one. Even if you're in the middle of something negative and hard right this minute, you're not dead. You haven't quit. And I invite you to share who you are and what you're doing. Light. The second word I had is fire. Light and fire. And light and fire are a little bit the same. Fire gives off light, but it also is heat. And so when I think of fire, I think of like it's cold here in the wintertime in Edmonton and down here in the basement. Now, this basement is enormous. I jokingly say the basement's so big you need a map, right? Because I have 3 studios down here, and then there's a cold room, and there's a very, very large bedroom that we have someone in, and another bathroom. And I have a recording studio and a video studio. It's huge. But anyway, it's cold down here in the wintertime, and over in one of the studios against the wall, there's this fireplace, a gas fireplace, and it can warm up all of downstairs if you leave it on for half an hour or an hour. And that fire is so much fun, and you can feel it as you come down the stairs, right? You start on the stairs and it's cold, a little cooler upstairs, and you come down and you can feel this wave. And so the way I think about it is I have a song, and the chorus is be a light, be a spark, be a fire for those who weep. And I think of those who weep as all of those who are like I have been in the past, lost, struggling, feeling not heard and sad. I'm telling you right this minute, if that's you, I love you. I invite you to love yourself. If I can help you, let me know. Because my mission is to reach 300 million people with a message of your divinity, an assurance of your capability, and certainty about your possibility. And I also have created a lot of tools, frameworks, tools, books, and things, because I need that stuff. And so I have it for you to help you do something with the yearning and the desires that are in your heart to create that thing I call your ultimate life. And the 3 letters are M, which is messenger, C, creator, and the last one's alchemist. And I use alchemist because guess what? Alchemy is a mixture of science and magic. And it's a lot of fun. The idea, science and magic brought together to create anything. And so when I talk, I say, you can create whatever you want. And, some people think, yeah, a bunch of woo-woo speak. It's not. You can create whatever you want. And you know what? I'm a witness of that. Because over the last years, as I've practiced these things, I've not only accomplished that, but I've become an expert at it. Ooh, scary thought. A drip under pressure, an expert, right? But my commitment is to help 300 million people. There's a whole story about that number and a whole story about what we're doing and how it's going. But I won't tell that here right now. But these messages and the podcasting and LA Talk Radio, all those pieces are part of that effort to reach to you and to assure you, to encourage you, to assure you that you're valuable, you're important, your message, your story, your life matters a lot. And no matter what's come before, it's never too late to matter. It's never too late to have a big impact if you want to do it. So I invite you to be a light. And I'm not going to tell you how to be a light or where to be a light because that would be presumptuous. I don't know. But you do. You know right this minute where you can be a light to someone. You know where you can be a fire to warm their heart with gratitude, with acknowledgement, with love. You know that right now, and I'd invite you to do it. Just take a minute, send a note, a message, a text, a voice memo of love and encouragement to someone. It'll warm your heart. And the third thing I had was be light, fire, and the third one was flow. Now, flow is this sort of mythical thing, sometimes feels mythical, where, you're playing a sport and somebody's just absolutely in flow. And they say in basketball, Seth Curry is sort of renowned for that. And he does this sometimes when he hits those ridiculously long 3-pointers, right? And he just throws them up there and they go in. And then, because do it in your sleep, right? Flow comes as a result of two things, or three things, really. One is you've already practiced and become good at a thing. In fact, you're excellent at it. And the part of that is you lose the fear of it. You're playing to win and you're not playing not to lose. So the barrier of fear is gone and you're all in. And when you're right at the edge of your skill, you're right doing the thing that's just at the edge, you can move into that state where your mind is in alpha state. And the frequency of your mind is alpha, and that is maximum creativity, maximum connectivity and flow. And you know what I notice? That light and fire and flow go together. Because when I am being intentionally a light, I'm intentionally trying to provide light and love, and to be a fire of encouragement and warmth, and I'm inviting people to do good and to be the best they can be, I move into that state of creation. And that can be true if I'm writing a book. It can be true when I'm over there in the recording studio on the other side. Flow is a beautiful state that you can have on demand. So I just leave that with you today. Light, fire, and flow. What are you choosing as you create your life? Because if you don't create it, circumstances or somebody else is going to do it. And I, for one, am not a pawn. I'm a creator. So are you. I love you. We'll see you tomorrow.